Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Chelsea, and today I am bringing you my May wrap up. Now, I'm actually quite impressed. I have upped my book count by 1. I have read 5 books in the month of May. I have got a huge TBR for June. If you haven't checked that out yet, I will link it up here for you. It is a long list of books. There's a good 10 books on that list, I think. So fingers crossed I can do it. I'm gonna apologise for my flushed face already. It's hot in the UK, or hotter, and yeah, we don't cope well in the heat. I love the heat, but our indoors aren't really functional for the heat. We have no aircon, which sucks. So I need to find the fan. It is that time of year. All of the windows are open, so if you can hear the plane, I apologise. If you hear children screaming throughout this video, I apologise. Dogs barking, gardens being cleaned. Gardens being mowed. I don't know. Whatever people tend to do on a Saturday afternoon. But that is not why we're here. We are here to talk about books. So let's get into the books that I read in May. So the first book that I completed in the month of May was The Kingdom of Liars by Nick Martell. I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I did not think it would get a 4 stars at all. I enjoyed it throughout the whole thing, but throughout the whole book, Michael Kingman, who is our main character and the person that we are in the head of, is a little bit irritating, if I'm completely honest. He complains a lot. He constantly makes decisions that I think are the worst thing he can do in the world. But right at the end, within like the last 100 pages or so, other characters actually acknowledge how frustrating he is as a person. And he becomes so much better because people have confronted him, which is great. So in this book we are following Michael Kingman. He is the son of a known traitor. His father was convicted of killing the king's oldest son, so therefore was obviously put to death because of that. And I just actually really enjoyed it. It's kind of like a historical fiction kind of thing. Obviously it's set in a time where there are knights, and there is talk of there being magic in this, but in my opinion it is not there enough, and that is probably my only gripe, is the fact that in this book they mention that you can be a fabricator, and a fabricator can be literally anything. So you could be able to like conjure fire or work with shadows or lightning, literally anything. And it's mentioned in like the first part of the book. Michael makes a deal with a gentleman and he agrees that he will teach Michael how to like hone his fabricator skills if they prove that he is a fabricator. But then it kind of drops off and we don't hear anything more about it. So I'm hoping in the sequel it's talked about a lot more. I cannot wait to read the sequel. I hate the fact that my sequel is completely different size to this one, but it's fine. We're just gonna go with it. But yeah, my first book, 4 stars, really enjoyed it. Need to read the sequel. The second book that I completed was Raybearer by Jordan Ifueko, and I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed this actually. It is a YA. It is about a girl called Tarasai, and she is given a task by her mother. Her mother is known as only the lady. She's not very affectionate. She keeps like her distance from her child, and Tarasai doesn't understand why. She just wants to be loved. But her mother gives her a task, and the task is for her to go to the royal court, befriend the crown prince, and when they are older, she wants Tarasai to be anointed as part of the crown prince's Council of 11. And the Council of 11 is a group of people that surround the prince, and you kind of learn throughout the book why the Council of 11 is such a big thing for these people, and how Tarasai can like affect things. But Tarasai's main mission is obviously to join the Council of 11, and when the prince loves her, she is to kill him, which is great. Everyone loves that. But yeah, this book is full of twists and turns. Really enjoyed it. It's a duology. The second book comes out, I don't even know when off the top of my head. Yeah, so I love this book so much that I have pre-ordered the Illumicrate editions of the first and the second book. I am so excited to see what they've done with the cover and the edges. I'm pretty sure it's ombre edges, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited. I can't wait to read the sequel. So the next book is the only book that I gave a 5 stars to this month, and that is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. I love this. Oh my goodness. If you need a new fantasy world to get into, to sink your teeth into, to try and like I don't know, learn a whole new world. Read this. Oh my goodness, it's so, so good. We are following a range of characters. We have a range of perspectives, which is personally my favourite thing. There is a bit of a romance in there, but like not enough for it to be a romance book, which is fantastic because, again, not a big necessarily romance fan. Has to be done in a certain way for me to actually enjoy it. I don't know why. I'm just a bit picky like that, I guess. Not sure. But in this book, we are following a range of characters, and we start off with learning about Serapio, who is a man cloaked in destiny and darkness. He is scarred, he is blind. Why, you ask? Read the book. And from the second chapter, I think it is, the first chapter is Serapio's like perspective. The second one is Exalia. Not too sure if I'm saying that right, but that's how I read it in my head. And she is a teak, which is someone who can communicate with the sea, essentially. And they meet within the second chapter. Exalia is the captain of a ship, and she is given the task to transport him to the holy city of Tova to complete some destiny that he has been told about. Fantastic. Love this book, 5 stars, recommend it to anyone, need the sequel, would love it if someone would do a special edition set of these books. Will they? I don't know. But this was good. Really good. My buddy read for the month of May was Law by Alexandra Bracken, with my friend Kate on Twitter, and I was pleasantly surprised. So I gave this 4 stars. I was really surprised based on the fact that it's mythology for a start, and I don't really read mythology for any reason other than I just don't. Doesn't necessarily call out to me. And 2, I've heard mixed reviews about this book, so I was a bit iffy about whether I was going to enjoy it. But I really liked it. We are following a young girl called Law, and she has done everything possible to get out of this thing called the Aegon, and the Aegon is something that was set up by Zeus many years ago, when for 7 days, every 7 years, the gods are put on the earth and they have to walk as mortals, and there are hunters, like trained packs of hunters, that hunt them and then proceed to kill the gods to gain their powers. And it is a really good concept, and I was really pleasantly surprised at how much I liked it. And there is so much fighting and so much gore, not like, you know, R-rated or 15 or whatever the movie version is, but I was actually really impressed with like the fight scenes and how they were done, and some of the scenes did make me go, oh. When they're like, oh, I broke this and this got broken and blood spurted here and all that fun stuff. But I really like this. I really liked this. Very surprised. Happily surprised. And then the final book that I managed to complete in May was Near the Bone by Christina Henry. This is her newest book that has come out. I've just found out she's got another book coming out not too far in the future, which is fantastic because I really like her books, even though this is probably the second one that I've read in its entirety. So in this book we're following a young girl called Mattie, and she has been living on this mountain for, she doesn't even remember how many years, and she's essentially married to a man named William. Now William is a lot older than her, although she isn't quite sure how old he is. She just knows he is considerably older, and that she has been his wife for as long as she can remember. This book, I have thoughts. So I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, but I love Criminal Minds. Now if you like Criminal Minds, read this, because it's Criminal Minds in a book. So check the trigger warnings for this, because there are a lot. Definitely for child abduction, you know, mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse as well, to an extent. More the fact of, you know, not necessarily consenting, which is not fun to read about. But I will say it is not graphic. That is something that obviously didn't affect my rating of this book, because if it was graphic, my gosh, I would have rated it a lot lower. I would not have enjoyed it. But the main point of this book is the story, not the abuse. Kind of like intertwines. I thought it was quite well done. But obviously if you're gonna have any issues with them, please don't read this. Please check everything out before you actually do pick it up. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. The idea was really good. I'm a little bit iffy about, so the whole point of this is that there is a point where she finds weird footprints in the snow, and it is essentially this big creature which is shown on the cover, and yeah, we don't really know what's going on, and for a lot of it I was convinced it was in her head, and I'm still not convinced any other way. But I enjoyed it. I really kind of want to know where it would follow on from the end, but I also don't want a sequel, if that makes sense. I did give this 4 stars. I don't think I've said that yet. I did give this 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. I read it and spoke about it with my friend. Even she said it got very dark, and yeah, I don't really know what else I can say about it. I did enjoy it. I'm very glad I read it. Christina Henry is very good at writing like kind of gory, horror-y, thrillery kind of books. This was a good one, to be fair. So there you go, those were the books that I read in the month of May. There weren't loads, but I read like 1 more, 2 more, don't know, than I read the month before, and that's the main thing. And I'm hoping that this month, it is June, it is whatever-a-thon, and clear your shit, that I don't put too much pressure on myself, and that I actually just kind of enjoy reading again, get back into it, complete my massive TBR, or at least most of it. My goal for whatever-a-thon is 5 books, that's how much I've pledged, but I would love to read more than that if I actually could. If I can get back into reading a fair amount, I think that'd be amazing, and maybe I could hit the bigger goal that I've got in the back of my head that I haven't actually written down anywhere, but we shall see. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. It really supports me and my channel. Leave me a comment down below. What books did you read in May? What was your favourite book that you read in May? And if you don't want to leave me a comment, leave me a black heart, because Black Sun was my all-time favourite book, and there isn't a Black Sun emoji, or a crow. Is there a crow emoji? Or a raven, a black bird emoji, or a black heart emoji. You pick. I'm not fussed. And if you want to see more of me and see how I get on with my June TBR and all that fun stuff, please consider subscribing down below and ringing that notification bell so you get notified every single time I upload new content. I currently upload on a Wednesday and on a Sunday, so be sure to stick around for more bookish content from me. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. I hope you're having an amazing day. I hope you're not melting too much if you're in the UK. That kind of rhymed. And I will see you soon in the next video. Bye!